A big fear with carnivores is eating a lot of meat will make your kidneys worse.
I happened to develop a massive stone, and it was so big that they had to surgically remove it. But no, my kidney function is great. I really do think I feel the best. I have my skin. I feel like I'm aging backward. Our bodies are capable of so much. I feel like I'm just getting better and better.
Hey carnivores, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella the Steak and Butter Gal. Hope you all are having an amazing meat-fueled day. And as always, I'd love to know how you're doing on your carnivore journeys. Feel free to drop an update down below in the comments. Before we begin, I just wanted to share that the next 30-day carnivore challenge is now open for sign up. If you're looking for a community to belong to where you can connect with like-minded carnivores, the Steak and Butter Gang will give you plenty of support and accountability. We also have an incredible team of carnivore coaches to guide you through your journeys, help you troubleshoot, and answer any questions along the way. All of the faces shown on the screen right now will be the upcoming guest speakers, including Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Tony Hampton, and Coach Rebecca Heichman. For more details and to directly sign up, visit the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or check out the links down below in the description box. Hi, Michelle. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to interview you because your story is so inspiring. And we wanted you to start off by telling us about how your health journey began. How did you stumble across the carnivore lifestyle?
Well, I'm a mama to nine, married to my husband for 35 years, and I came from standard American diet. I have been pursuing health through nutrition and exercise for probably about 12 years now. And, found ketogenic lifestyle, found fasting, went through some stuff as a family and menopause all at the same time, put on some weight, had a lot of pain, especially in my hip. So I came across carnivore really to get rid of the hip pain. It can't hurt to try it. The first month of carnivore, I would say that my hip pain was gone by 50%. I couldn't walk 10 minutes down the street. I would have to limp back. It was so bad. I go to a chiropractor regularly. I thought I was going to need an x-ray or hip surgery. I didn't know. And by the next month, I would say it was maybe 90% gone. And by the third month, it was completely gone. No pain whatsoever. And I'm not kidding when I said I couldn't walk 10 minutes. By the fourth month, I had dropped 40 pounds or 30 pounds. So,
Wow.
it just came off. And the family stressors were still there. So it wasn't just the stress. And of course, with the family stress came probably, you let little things in. I wasn't super strict. The pain was completely gone. My energy came back. I felt alive again, I guess.
May I ask, how young are you and how long have you been carnivore so far?
I'm 57. And in June, it'll be 2 years carnivore.
I want to know how things have changed with priming. I actually want to hear your priming story. Was it difficult for you to decide to go ahead and try that? Did you have challenges? And are you glad you went through that?
Yeah, I'm so glad I went through it. I'm so glad with everything I'm learning. Like I said, I feel like I have so much experience, but I have so much to learn. And so, I think I had reached out to Emily and I was trying to quit coffee. I had just had a kidney procedure. I was at a very low point and she had suggested priming. And so I just stepped into it. I was already kind of at my goal weight. I mean, maybe not the body composition I want, but I never gave that any thought. I just jumped right into it and I was hungry and I ate the 3+ meals a day. And I by the time I finally joined Steak and Butter Gang, which I think was like the 1st of September, I had been priming for 21 days and I wasn't really sick of it yet. And I don't know if I gained, I really wasn't weighing myself. So then I just jumped right in and then I started to get just like, oh, I can't eat anymore. And somebody's like, well, if you've been priming for 21 days, why don't you just jump ahead a little bit? So I did. And I followed the calendars all the way through for the next 3 months. I just love the meetings and just soak them up and the commenting back and forth and stuff. And for me, it keeps me going. I'm a 30-day challenge kind of girl. Like I'll do anything for 30 days, so like following the calendars, it was so cool to have another 30-day block to stay focused. And that's what the meetings do to me too. They just really help me stay focused. Priming has just brought so much freedom for me, a change of mindset. I have lived so restricted for so long and felt like I just always pull back. Even now, I still have to watch it. I'm going to be starting a kind of like a workout routine that's really, you need to eat a lot in the next 6 weeks. And there's part of me that's afraid, but what if I don't fast? What if I gain? And it's like, no. My 19-year-old son said to me today, he goes, you're worried about getting fat, eating meat and working out? I'm like, you are so
Always
smart.
saying it.
So in a weird way, I feel like the priming has set me even more free from fear of food, fear of gaining. And it makes no sense because you're eating more, but you feel freer.
Yes.
And so, yeah. So now, like, I just did 2-3 day fast. And the cool thing about fasting and priming, I also have fasted many times over the years for spiritual reasons. And I just wanted the freedom to be able to step into fasting if I felt called to, but in a healthy way. In the very long fast I did, I know I was called to it, but I didn't come out on the other end as healthy as I had hoped. Now I feel like with priming in my back pocket and knowing, at the end of a fast I can feast or before a fast, I feel like it's such a better fit for my body. So yeah, I can't say enough about priming. When I hear people come in the group and they're like, well, I'm experienced, I'm like, prime. Just prime.
Right.
Priming on the carnivore diet is a 2 to 3 week long period of time where the person prioritizes eating 3 meals every day. It preps the body to really reap the full benefits and healing of intermittent fasting and extended fasting. Coach Raymond and Coach Emily have an entire 90-day priming, feasting, and fasting plan, tried and tested on thousands of carnivores now. One of the best benefits, of course, is fat loss and body recomposition, and we see it in our members of all ages. Both men and women see their bodies transform, lose fat, lose inflammation, and get stronger. This is our very own star member, Limitless Lindy, who has lost 500 pounds just by priming and basic intermittent fasting. If you're curious in this priming protocol and would like to take part in the full challenge, Coach Raymond and Coach Emily teach their entire program, priming, feasting, and fasting, in our monthly Steak and Butter Gang challenges. They teach weekly classes to answer questions, help you troubleshoot, and explain each week's easy to follow schedules. If you feel ready to commit and start the challenge with us, you can read more on the details and directly sign up by going to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com. I've also linked clickable links down below in the description box.
You are such an experienced faster, and also you were carnivore for a little while. So I'm really surprised you didn't have that fear of actually going into priming. So kudos on you for that.
We get that question all the time. I'm already carnivore. I already can fast. Is there a reason for me to prime? What would you say to those folks?
When I dropped that 30 pounds in those 4 months, I was eating according to hunger, but you're just not hungry when you first start carnivore.
Right.
You eat chuck roast and it's fatty or whatever.
Right.
So I know I lost that weight under eating. And I have, like I said, I've lived restricted and wanting to be small for so long. Priming is just, I'm not even saying I'm done yet. It is still setting me free from that mindset. So there's the physical freedom and the mental freedom that it's okay to eat. We're meant to eat. We're eating the best food on the planet, to fuel our bodies. I mean, I should have a fear if I'm going to eat like a horse for the next 6 weeks, if I'm eating junk, but I'm eating meat and fat, so it's just been a whole mindset shift. I would say just do it. Just prime. It's worth it.
Amazing. I'm curious to know, throughout your initial priming journey, were you afraid of gaining weight?
I don't weigh myself that often. And I don't remember if I did weigh myself. I don't think I had the fear because I wanted off coffee and I wanted to feel better. It was about a 2 or 3 month ordeal with my kidneys, and I had finally had the procedure, and it was a horrendous deal. And so I just wanted to feel well. So I didn't give a whole lot of forethought. I'm a jump off the cliff kind of girl. My husband is the kind of guy who's like, hey, we should bring a backpack. I'm like, let's just jump, so I really just jumped into priming. I would say things got tight. My clothes got tight. Thankfully, I didn't gain. I don't know what would have happened had I gained 15 or 20 pounds. That might have been harder to take. But I was enjoying the freedom of just being able to eat. And I go back to it, like even now. So I did the 3-day fast, and I was starving and hungry. And so I ate 3+ meals a day. So it would have been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and today's the first day I didn't wake up starving. I'm like, well, okay, see, we filled that again, and so I've only had 1 meal so far today. So even now I'm still learning to listen to that hunger and fullness, to be okay when it's time to eat. I work out hard. I'm going to be hungry some days. And so just learning all of that. Like I said, for all the experience that I thought I had, I'm learning so much.
Let's forget about the weight, but when you started fasting, did you notice better composition change that you've had in the past or no?
When I founded the ketogenic group that I was in, fasting was a big part of it. It was feasting and fasting, not unlike what we do in the gang, but we didn't have the priming aspect of it. And I can assure you, I wasn't priming. I was so focused on losing the weight. And so I did a lot of fasting. I've done, 3 days, 10 days, 14 days. I've done a very, very, very long fast, water only. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to fast. I've always only done water. In the priming, I know I got fluffier feeling. And then once I started priming, like for me, when I wake up in the morning and I can feel the hip bone and your stomach just feels flat, it's just that lean feeling.
Oh, yes.
I love that feeling after a fast.
Wow.
So you've actually done 3 months of the calendar so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did you feel with the pace of it?
Oh, it was great. It was perfect. I really started to stall out at the rolling 48s. I didn't like those. I didn't do well with those. But I loved the pace of it. And there's times that you want to go faster because I want this belly pack on, so you want to push it. But I feel like the pace is right. Like you just walk us into it. And I love that part of it. And I need somebody to hold me back a little bit sometimes for my own good. And I appreciate that about the calendars.
That's awesome.
I love that. I feel like in carnivore and fasting, we can kind of get into yo-yo carnivore by following this plan or that plan or jumping around. And fasting, certainly before I found carnivore, before I found Bella and Raymond, and feasting, that was kind of there was an element of yo-yoing to that. That was kind of a restriction and punishment, which I'm just like, fasting is supposed to be for our health and healing. It put it in a different perspective for me.
Yes. And you guys do that for me. You really quiet the chatter, my old thinking, and just really give me a better perspective. And again, with the priming, with the feasting part of it, I've got the fasting down. I can do that all day long, but it's nourishing my body and, taking care of me and realizing that it's good for me. Like these last 3 days of eating so much, like it makes me want to go work. I'm like, let's put that into some muscle. Whereas before, you think oh no, I should fast today because I've been eating so much. It's like, no, let's go work out. Let's build some muscle. It's just a whole different mindset shift that I think takes time. Like it doesn't happen in 30 days.
Yes.
And that's what I think is so important. And I'm okay, let's get it done in 30 days kind of girl, but I committed to the 90 days. And then partway through, I'm like, let's just reevaluate life in February. You know what I mean? Like, let's put our head down and just keep going, and all shifted for me.
I love that. I really am continually telling people, like, take a season. Like a season is a good 3 months. Like give it at least this amount of time. But for me, it's just turned into a lifestyle. I definitely want to hear about the family dynamics. How has that gone? What kind of mama tips and tricks do you have for moms of large families that are carnivore themselves?
Well, I wish my whole family was carnivore.
Yeah.
They're not, and it's not for lack of trying. But my kids have grown up. Like I said, at least the last 10 or 12 years, they've seen me really research, walk the walk. They know I'm for health. They've seen what I've turned around. When you give so much to having that many babies, and I think we figured out it was 21 years straight that I was either pregnant or breastfeeding. And that's a long time. And that's
So cool.
A little bit of sleep. And also too, I found out I was always just at the top of the charts and normal for insulin resistant. Well, God made our bodies that when we're pregnant, we're naturally insulin resistant. So how many years was I insulin resistant?
Oh, good point.
No doctor told me that, But so my kids have watched. My kids, you hear my kids preaching all the time. Like my son saying, "You're going to get fat eating meat and working out." Like, okay, mom. So they don't always make the best choices, but they know it's right. My kids I'm the protein queen and they are my little subjects. They know, protein comes first. So they're learning a lot. And they watch me and I see them. My son who just got married, him and his wife are exercising and she's wanting to know, how can I best feed my husband after we exercise,
Aww. Yeah.
So yeah, they're learning a lot. And I know, especially these ones I still have at home, they have got such a head start.
You did mention budget-friendly tips, and since you have such a large family, I'm sure they all eat a lot of meat too. This is a popular question, how to save money as a carnivore because it can get expensive.
Since my very long fast those years ago, I have such an aversion to chicken, but they love chicken breast, which is not, I don't think of as it's meat, but it's not carnivore friendly because it's so lean. But I do let them eat that because it's only $2.99 a pound versus ground beef is $5 a pound. So they do a lot of chicken. And like I said, a lot of ground beef. And for them, I extend it in soups. We do a lot of soup.
What are your go-to meals? How do you figure out how much to eat, especially when you were priming? Like one of the biggest questions we get is, how do we know how much to eat when we prime?
I feel like it's just intuitive for me. And I don't know if I have a for sure answer, but during priming, I loved it because I could eat anything and everything. Even like little smoky sausages, like I don't eat those on a normal day, but when you're priming, you're just trying to get the food in. The little wisp crackers,
Yes.
I eat my meals and then I would eat those too, So that's what I did for priming. Anything carnivore I put in my body. Now, normally we have our own chickens. We have beautiful eggs on our counter. I eat, I don't do a dozen eggs, Bella, but I'll do, five or six eggs and some pork belly, for a meal. I do a lot of ground beef. I do a lot of ground beef with butter and egg yolks on it, and either ribeye or New York strip when they have it on sale. We are very tight financially, so that's kind of a treat. But sometimes it's close to the price of ground beef,
Yeah.
So that's basically what I eat now. I've noticed that the last 2 weeks that I've been doing these, I did 3-day fasts. I'm just eating so much fat. I'm eating plenty of protein, but I'm licking the butter knife. I'm putting butter on my pork belly, So I think I'm learning. I'm needing that, and I feel just as lean. I don't feel like I'm fluffing out or anything. So just listening to that, when I try to figure out, I do have a particular protein number that I kind of know how to hit. I don't track, but I know what I need to eat to be around. And then as far as fat, it really is like what sometimes pork belly with butter on it just sounds really, really good. Well, why? Other than maybe I need that,
If you're looking for a convenient yet cheap way to shop for carnivore essentials, I highly recommend Thrive Market. It's basically an online membership-based grocery store where you can order all the essentials, carnivore snacks, household supplies you need, and it's delivered straight to your door. I always find the lowest prices on their website and app, and they also price match if you find any lower prices anywhere else. This is my Thrive Market box that I got this month. I always restock their unscented laundry detergent. This is from their very own line, Rosie. It's effective at removing stains, it's hypoallergenic, so it's great for anyone with sensitive skin. Thrive Market's beef sticks are an excellent carnivore snack option. You can take it on the go. The ingredients are clean. It's literally just grass-fed beef, water, sea salt, and spices. I also stocked up on their Redmond's real salt, since Steak and Butter Guy generously uses his high-quality salt on all of his meals. And the last thing that I got is their hand soap. I really like this brand because, again, it's hypoallergenic. The scent is not too overpowering. One of my favorite features of Thrive Market is that you can go into their app and filter out specific diets that you don't want to see. They have a ketogenic diet filter where when you turn it on, you will see a lot of carnivore-friendly snacks and options. They have all of the popular brands and snacks that carnivores love, like Chomps, Wisps, pork rind chips, and they're all at the lowest prices. Thrive Market will always price match to ensure that you get the best deals. If you guys are interested in shopping at Thrive Market, you all can get 30% off your first order plus a free gift worth up to $60. Just visit the URL shown on the screen, thrivemarket.com/steakandbuttergal, and I've also linked them down below in the description box.
You mentioned a certain snack that you had made. You kind of got into this dehydrated type of thing, and I just wanted to hear a little bit more about that.
I've been trying to dehydrate so many different things, and pork loin was on sale at Costco for so cheap. And so we have a slicer. So my husband, bless his heart, sliced it super thin. They taste like potato chips to me.
Oh, wow.
So good.
Agreed. I just made them yesterday. They're so good. Yes.
I can't even believe it.
Yes.
I gave some to my daughter-in-law and I have them in a container and she just sat there and ate the whole thing. I'm like, okay. Okay, that's all right. But yeah, so I do those a lot, and I actually will use those after I break a fast. I'll have some eggs broth and those just to kind of amp the, because your belly's kind of smaller. You don't want a big meal.
Right.
And I'll use those pork loin crisps to kind of get me some more protein in. So
what is the age range between your kids?
36 to 16.
Oh my goodness, you still have a
Fun.
16-year-old. Wow. So
Yeah.
do you get any questions when you were going into carnivore from friends and or family?
Not from my family here at home, because they've watched me make, according to them, radical choices, but they're not. I mean, like eating meat versus a Twinkie, might seem radical, but
Right.
it's to me. But
Yeah.
we have had some social occasions, but I'm kind of a brat. Like, I don't care. It's like, this is my life. And but I do try to be polite. If we're going somewhere, I am not going to make a big deal out of it. I just go full, maybe, so I can just kind of play around with my food. I offer to bring stuff. The people that we fellowship with pretty much know where I stand, and they're okay with it. I'll bring meat. I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
or I won't eat. And but I really don't care anymore.
So you don't keep that a secret or anything like that. You're just
Oh.
don't mind who knows it and all that stuff.
I think I'm crazy, but I'm an example to these girls. They're drinking Coke and eating junk, and I'm like, girls, like, take it from somebody who's been there. And I show them my before pictures. I'm 5'2", and I think my highest weight, not pregnant, because I don't think it's fair to count a pregnant weight, was 220 pounds. I'm
Wow.
little. And I show them pictures. I'm like, this is because I ate that way, like, you trust me, I've learned a thing or two, and so I'm just trying to be the example and stay steady on the journey.
Did you have any illnesses back then?
Just miserable. I was pregnant and breastfeeding, and I was in pain, and I hated how I looked, and I hated how I felt. I didn't have any real, besides insulin resistance was the only thing that really reversed, and it was pretty stubborn. It took a lot of fasting and a long time of keto, I think, to get my numbers down. And I follow blood work. I have checked my blood work for the last 10 years. So I watched my insulin come down from over 20 down to 4, and 4 or 5, or my A1C. So I learned to read my blood work to be a true measure of health,
Yes.
So yeah, I didn't have any I was well on my way to diabetes, though. That's for sure.
So a lot of the women watching, they want to heal hormones. And since you are 57, you look incredible. Clearly you are healthy and energetic. What tips do you have to heal hormones or to get to that place of happy hormonal health?
I am still on that journey, trying to find that place. I actually do bioidentical hormones right now. I hope to get off of them. And I don't know if I ever will. I appreciate Dr. Kiltz's take on it, that, it's okay. And I have needed them. I had to start them 26 years ago because I started losing babies.
Wow.
I was so low on progesterone. I had to have progesterone just to keep a pregnancy. So I'm very familiar with bioidentical hormones and have been. To me, I've never felt better than I have before than being on carnivore. I think moving my body, I think muscle is huge. And I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother story, moving our bodies and preserving and maintaining the muscle, and if not building the muscle that we have, is huge. And sleep, that's another thing that's turned around hugely for me lately, is sleep. Of course, being a mom and being up lots of nights nursing babies and stuff, my sleep has never been good. And because of hormones too, I am now sleeping 8 to 10 hours at night, which, if you knew what a miracle that is, like, it is beyond a miracle. I'm the girl who wakes up at 3 o'clock and can't go back to sleep. And so that's been a huge change too.
Is that because simply by going carnivore, or did you troubleshoot and play around with fat, eating less fat, more fat?
I've definitely increased my fat. And I have been playing around with amino acids. I've been doing some GABA, glycine, and NAC, and just troubleshooting, reading, researching what might work, what might help. And I don't know if I have found this sweet spot. I thought maybe, it was just a fluke, but it's been over a month now that I'm sleeping 8 to 10 hours. And I could go back to sleep at 6 in the morning, which I like I said, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning is when I used to get up. And now I go to bed about 9 or 9:30 and I sleep till 6. And it's just amazing. I used to need naps every day for the last 35 years. And I don't anymore.
Have you gotten your labs tested since going carnivore?
I did 6 months ago when I was going through all the kidney stuff. And the year before, I had been carnivore for about 3 months. And of course, everything was high. Cholesterol was high. And my doctor was, upset. I'm like, and I had just lost 30 pounds. So I knew in part there was like fat still floating around so I wasn't at all concerned. Not that I am with cholesterol anyway, but it bought me some time with her. Okay, well, we'll give you 6 months, she said. Well, my cholesterol came down. It's under 300, let's say. And my LDL is probably mid 100s. But my fasting insulin is 4. My A1C, I think, is under 5.0.
Wow.
Yeah. So everything else was amazing. And she still tried to push the statins a little bit. I'm like, no, you don't know how amazing this is, And we had the whole kidney distraction, so she wasn't pushing that hard.
How are your kidneys now? Did they improve? Because a big fear with carnivores is eating a lot of meat will make your kidneys worse.
Right. My kidneys are great. The function is great. I happened to develop a massive stone that could not pass. And we are wondering, is it all the oxalates? Is it, you know what I mean? Like it happened a year into being carnivore. And it was so big that they had to surgically remove it. And there was a lot of complications from it. But no, my kidney function is great. And I wondered that too, having been carnivore for a year when I had them done, and it's perfect. There's no issues with my kidneys.
Awesome. When did you start deciding to try amino acids? Was this before something you've done before carnivore, or this is after?
Probably a couple of months ago. There's a company that my friend works for that has made their own amino acids. And so I started researching it, and then I had, listened to Dr. Minkoff, I think it is. Is that his name?
Yes.
And I realized the product is very similar. And so I had been playing around, already taking them maybe after a workout, or I put them in my water bottle before I went to the gym to see if I would notice a difference. And I truly was just playing around. I didn't do anything consistently. But as I kept watching videos, from different doctors on the specific amino acids, that's how I zeroed in on those two for my sleep, which I really feel has made a dramatic difference. But now, because I feel like I'm at a great place with my weight. I just want to put on more muscle. I love fasting. How can I do it all?
Yes.
And I just have been kind of playing around with, well, what if I had amino acids? What if I did that on my feast or fasting days, and what would that look like, and how would I feel? And so truly, I'm just kind of in the beginning stages of that, because part of it is these have a flavor to them. And when I'm fasting, I really like water or no water. I don't like, yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to put a flavor in there. But yeah, so I'm just kind of starting with those right now.
Okay, so have you tried a few amino fasts by any chance yet?
No, it was, the last day of my last 3-day fast, I had the amino acids. But
so real recent. Got it.
Yeah, very.
I wanted to ask you on the sleep issue, because you've been having HRT. A lot of times people will point to that and they'll say, oh, that's a progesterone issue. You just need a progesterone supplement that's going to break open the sleep situation. And what I'm hearing from you is that really it was maybe a priming amino acid, that for you, those were the things that you're really seeing making this big difference in this great sleep that you're getting. Am I kind of hearing that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I work with a great doctor, a naturopath, for my hormones, and we check my blood work all the time. Like I said, I've been on progesterone for 26 years. I know when it's low. If I have a migraine, it's because my progesterone is too low. And the last time I was there, 2 times ago, when she had kind of explained when we went through that, stressors in our family and the hormonal shift, she said that stressor probably shifted me into menopause and my hormones were completely tanked. But she said progesterone puts you to sleep and estrogen will keep you asleep. So we increased estrogen, we got all my labs up, and still no sleep. And I
wasn't the answer.
Was not the answer. I did butter on the night. I did all the things, and it wasn't really until I started which is crazy, because you think, isn't meat enough? And it is. But I don't know if I just need this little tweak right now, to get me through. And I mean, I hope to not have to do it forever. The less supplements, the better in my mind. But right now, and my body has got to need that sleep, and I know how restorative sleep is. So I'm to me right now, my biggest testimony is the fact that I'm sleeping. That's huge.
Yes. I think as we age also, the issue is that we're not being able to break down the proteins, even if we're carnivore, as well as we probably could if we were younger. The other thing that we're actually trying to do, because right now, because of aging and probably other factors in our life, stress, whatever, it starts a little downward cycle. So really what the aminos does, it not only, first of all, carnivore stops all that cycle, but with the aminos, you have the chance of reversing that. That's what it seems like. And that's what I'm seeing. It's like, and like you said, once you reverse the cycle and you start sleeping better, guess what happens? It keeps reversing even more because you're actually getting the sleep you need. So this is the way I see it. It's like, yes, it's a temporary time until eventually that your body can get to the pristine point to digest better and actually break down the proteins the way it needs to. Then you don't need the aminos again. At least that's the concept I'm looking at.
Do you want to touch a little bit on your fitness journey?
Yeah, you know what? I do, because I feel like I am like just your average girl. You know what I mean? I mean, I have 9 kids, but like, so maybe that puts me at a disadvantage.
Superstar mom.
You know, but I started out all those years ago, 10 minutes. I tell anybody, I can do anything for 10, move your body for 10 minutes, you know, and to realize that I was in my bedroom, you know, trying to do push-ups on my knees and trying to do body weight squats just for 10 minutes, right? All the way to becoming a personal trainer and deadlifting and back squatting and, you know, doing all of the things. Like, our bodies are capable of so much. And there's seasons. I mean, in the last 12 years, there's been seasons where my exercise has waned and waxed, you know, and that's okay too. Being okay with that. There's seasons where my fasting has ebbed and flowed, and that's okay. We can't do it all the time. I have a friend who just said, you know, I'm just really feeling this desire to move in the morning for 15 minutes. I'm like, take advantage of that desire now. You know, she couldn't have done it 6 months ago. She's got too much going on in her life. Like, we can trust these seasons. Most of us who are pursuing health and nutrition and all those things are not super lazy people. It's just maybe we don't have the information. Maybe life is really hard right now and we need to be gentle on ourselves. But so many years I felt like I was so lazy because I looked like a lazy person. I'm not. I'm a very driven person, right? It was a lack of knowledge, a lack of information, or a stressful season. And so now I am back into, for the last year or so, back into my lifting. And you know what? The other thing, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it, because I was, I don't even know what I was deadlifting when I had injured myself. But coming back, like, it's almost being back at ground zero. And there's like a certain sadness to that. But then I remind myself, okay, we built ourselves once, we're going to rebuild ourselves this time. You know, we can get back to where we were. And so my encouragement is just to do it and do what you can and realize, you know, you are worth it. Like, my old coaching business used to be called, You Are So Worth It. Like, we're worth the effort. We're worth the time. We are valuable. And to see ourselves that way.
One more last question to wrap up then. What are your top 3 absolute favorite benefits after going carnivore?
I don't think I'm somebody who couldn't eat vegetables. Like, I don't know. But my gosh, it is so easy to have a big old plate of eggs or ground beef. And I love it. I mean, if I get bored, I'll make, you know, like a carnivore pizza or something. I do have variety, but it is so easy. I think I really do think I feel the best. I have my skin. I feel like I'm aging backwards. I feel like, I have great genes. My mom is beautiful and has beautiful skin too, but like people are asking me, are you lightening your hair? It looks blonde. I'm like, no, that's gray. They're like, it looks blonde. I'm like, can your hair change color? I don't know. But, you know, so I feel like carnivore is like aging backwards. I feel like I'm just getting better and better. So it just gives me so much hope. I still have, you know, I wish I had more energy. I wish I could do more, but maybe I'm already doing a lot, you know, I don't know. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
Michelle, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I have a private Facebook group where I make videos and speak to women, encouraging them. But really, I'm just a mom trying to be a good wife and a good mama and a good Mimi to my grandkids. So Yeah.
Living the dream.
I really am, Emily. I am. Thank you for all your help, you guys. You guys are great.
Amazing.
We'll enjoy having you there. So thank you.
Thank you all so much for watching the video. I've linked all of Michelle's socials down below in the description box if you would like to connect with her. If you'd like to join the Steak and Butter Gang community to get support and accountability, as well as take part in the priming protocol that we teach, feel free to visit the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, for all the details and how to directly sign up. All of the faces shown on the screen right now will be the upcoming guest speakers, including Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Tony Hampton, and Coach Rebecca Heischman. And finally, for all the busy carnivores and carnivore mamas out there who are looking for a budget-friendly, convenient way to shop carnivore essentials, I highly recommend you check out Thrive Market. You all can get 30% off your first order and a free gift worth up to $60. Just check out the URL shown on the screen, thrivemarket.com/steakandbuttergal. I've also linked them down below in the description box. I will see you in my next video. SBG out.